Imagine finding a simple nickel in your pocket, a coin so ordinary that it barely catches your attention. Now, what if I told you that a 1961 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark could be worth up to $4 million? Yes, a coin you might overlook every day could secretly hold the key to unimaginable wealth. But here's the catch: only a few of these rare nickels exist, and you could be holding one without even realizing it. The story behind the 1961 Jefferson nickel is one of mystery, scarcity, and an opportunity that only a select few will ever seize. This coin, minted in Philadelphia, carries no visible mint mark. While millions of nickels were produced that year, a microscopic difference in detail and preservation can skyrocket its value to millions. What makes these particular nickels so valuable? It comes down to one word: perfection. Serious collectors are hunting for nickels with flawless features. Sharp details on Jefferson's portrait, a perfectly struck Monticello building on the reverse, and an untouched, brilliant luster are what separate an ordinary coin from a multi-million-dollar treasure. Some of these nickels have sold for staggering amounts at auction because they meet the highest grading standards. If your coin has full steps on Monticello, a detail so fine it often fades over time, your nickel could be a hidden goldmine. But here's where things get even more interesting. Certain errors and anomalies make the 1961 nickel even rarer. Double die strikes, off-center minting, or an unexpected flaw during production can elevate the value to record-breaking levels. Imagine realizing that the coin sitting in your old change jar is a one-in-a-million rarity. And the clock is ticking. As these rare coins are found and sold, their value continues to rise. So, the longer you wait, the more you risk missing out on a life-changing fortune. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if you own one of these million-dollar nickels? It all starts with a close inspection. Check the coin's condition under bright light. Look for crisp, well-defined steps on the Monticello. Pay attention to any unusual marks or doubling on the lettering or design. If you spot anything unique, you could be holding a fortune in your hands. And here's a pro tip: always consult a professional coin grader to authenticate and certify your find. This step alone could mean the difference between an overlooked nickel and a multi-million-dollar windfall. Think this sounds too good to be true? Imagine the excitement of an everyday person discovering their spare change was worth millions. One lucky collector recently turned a common-looking nickel into a massive payday, simply by recognizing the rare traits we've just covered. That kind of life-changing wealth isn't just a fantasy, it's a reality for those who take the time to look closely. So, what if the next person to uncover a multi-million-dollar coin is you? That nickel tucked away in your drawer, or the one you received as change last week, could be the key to a new life of financial freedom. And wouldn't it be frustrating to find out you had a treasure in your possession but missed your chance to cash in? The hunt for valuable 1961 Jefferson nickels is happening right now, and those who act fast stand to gain the most. So, check your pockets, search your coin jars, and examine every nickel closely. Your next discovery could be the one that changes everything. But don't wait, because while you hesitate, someone else could be walking away with millions. Pulling out an old nickel, and realizing it could change your life forever. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you a simple 1962 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is shaking up the coin collecting world, fetching jaw-dropping prices as high as $3.70 million? Yes, you heard that right. And the best part? You could be holding one right now without even realizing it. Now, before you rush to check your spare change, there's something you need to know. Not every 1962 Jefferson nickel is worth a fortune. But a few rare specimens, with unique features, are sending collectors into a frenzy, willing to pay life-changing sums. And today, We're breaking down exactly what makes these nickels so valuable, how to identify them, and most importantly, how you can cash in. Let's dive into the story behind this incredible coin. In 1962, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels. Most of them pretty ordinary. But here's where things get interesting. Certain nickels from this year have rare errors and characteristics that make them unbelievably valuable. And when a collector spots one, they're willing to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of numismatic history. What makes these nickels so special? It all comes down to the details. One of the most sought-after errors is the full steps variety. Imagine the steps leading to Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. If these steps are perfectly struck and fully visible, you could be holding a jackpot. Coins with flawless full steps are so rare, they can command astronomical prices, but that's not all. Some 1962 Jefferson nickels also exhibit striking mistakes like off-center designs, double dies, and other minting anomalies. These errors aren't just quirky imperfections, they're golden tickets to life-changing money. And if you think finding one is impossible, think again. Rare coins are discovered every day in the most unexpected places. Who knows? Yours could be sitting quietly in a forgotten coin jar or tucked away in an old collection. Imagine discovering one of these rare nickels and realizing you're holding a $3.7 million treasure. What would you do with that kind of money? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Or maybe, finally retire in luxury? The possibilities are endless, but only if you know what to look for. So, how do you spot a $1 million nickel? Start by grabbing any 1962 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. Carefully inspect the Monticello building on the reverse side. Are the steps crisp, clean, and perfectly detailed? If so, you may have struck gold. But don't stop there. Look for other rare features like misprints, unusual textures, and even slight design shifts. Each of these anomalies could mean a massive payday, and here's the kicker: many people unknowingly spend these valuable coins on everyday purchases, never realizing they just gave away a fortune. Could you imagine handing over millions of dollars for a cup of coffee? It happens more often than you'd think. Now, you might be wondering, what if I find one? Great question. If you think you have a rare 1962 Jefferson nickel, don't make the mistake of selling it too quickly. The right buyer could pay significantly more if you know where to look. Trusted auction houses and specialized coin dealers are your best bet for securing top dollar. And with the market for rare coins heating up, now is the perfect time to act. But here's the truth: every second you wait is a chance for these opportunities to slip through your fingers. Collectors are on the hunt, and once these rare nickels are found, they disappear into private collections, possibly forever. If you want to capitalize on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the time to act is now. So, what are you waiting for? That life-changing nickel could be hiding right under your nose. Check your spare change, revisit those old coin collections, and stay vigilant. Because while others sit back and let fortune pass them by, you could be the next person to cash in on a $3.7 million jackpot. And trust me, when you hold a fortune in the palm of your hand, your life will never be the same again. The question is, will you seize the opportunity, or will you let it slip away? Coin so rare, so valuable, that it could change your life forever. We're talking about the 1980p Monticello Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary coin hiding a jaw-dropping secret. Some rare specimens of this coin have sold for as much as $3.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to identify the rarest variations, and how you could turn pocket change into a life-altering fortune. Now, before you rush off to check your coin jar, let me ask you this: what if the key to financial freedom has been sitting unnoticed in your home for years? That's not a fantasy. For a lucky few, it's reality. And it all starts with understanding why certain 1980p Monticello nickels are worth a fortune while others are just 5 cents. So, what makes this coin so special? Let's dive into the details and uncover the secrets that could make you a millionaire. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels. But among these millions, a few extraordinary errors slipped through quality control. These rare mistakes are what collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. Picture this: a misaligned die causing a dramatic double strike, or an over-polished die leaving out key design elements. These tiny imperfections can mean the difference between a nickel worth 5 cents and one worth millions. One of the most sought-after errors on the 1980p Jefferson nickel is the full steps designation. This means the steps of Monticello, the building on the reverse side, are perfectly struck and fully visible. Why does that matter? Because it's incredibly rare. Out of the millions minted, only a handful exhibit this perfect detail. And collectors are obsessed with finding them. Here's the kicker: a 1980p Jefferson nickel graded MS-67 with full steps recently sold for over $3.5 million. Imagine the heart-stopping moment when the owner realized their ordinary nickel was a multi-million-dollar windfall. That could be you next. But how do you know if you've got a winner sitting in your collection? First, grab a magnifying glass. Check the Monticello steps on the reverse side. Can you count all 5 or 6 steps clearly? If so, you could be holding a rare treasure. Next, inspect the coin for any unusual errors. Look for double strikes, off-center designs, or any oddities in the lettering. These quirks could dramatically increase the coin's value. Still not sure if your nickel is valuable? Here's a pro tip: get your coin professionally graded. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and certify your coin's condition, which can mean the difference between a coin worth hundreds and one worth millions. And trust me, you don't want to guess when that kind of money is on the line. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay millions for a nickel? The answer lies in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. Serious collectors are constantly hunting for the rarest and most pristine examples. And when competition heats up, prices soar. It's not just a hobby, it's a high-stakes treasure hunt where the rewards are life-changing. Think about it: while most people overlook the coins in their pockets, a select few are cashing in on hidden fortunes. The question is, will you be one of them? Every day you wait could be another missed opportunity. And with the market for rare coins surging, there has never been a better time to check your change. So, before you dismiss that pile of nickels sitting in your drawer, take another look. Your financial breakthrough could be hiding in plain sight. And if you do find something rare, don't sit on it. Get it graded, get it appraised, and who knows? You might just become the next millionaire story. And here's the twist: even if you don't find a $3.5 million nickel today, there are countless other rare coins out there waiting to be discovered. The next time you hold a coin in your hand, ask yourself, could this be the one? Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest value. And your journey to a wealthy lifestyle might just begin with the change in your pocket. If you're holding on to your spare change, you might want to take a closer look. Because hidden in plain sight could be a 1986 D mint marked Jefferson nickel that's worth up to $3.20 million. Imagine turning a 5-cent coin into a fortune. Sounds impossible? Well, this isn't a fairy tale, it's real, and today, you're going to find out exactly how to spot this rare gem and why collectors are willing to pay a life-changing amount for it. Now, let's start with a question. When was the last time you actually inspected a nickel? Not just glanced at it, I mean really looked. Most people toss their nickels into a jar without a second thought, but that habit could be costing you millions. Because in 1986, something extraordinary happened at the Denver Mint. A minting error so rare, so unusual, it sent collectors into a frenzy. The first clue lies in the mint mark itself. If you spot the letter D right under the date, you're on the right track. But not just any 1986 D nickel will make you a millionaire. There's a very specific error that transforms this ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. And in just a moment, I'll tell you exactly what to look for. But first, let's talk about why these rare errors are so valuable in the first place. Collectors aren't just paying for metal, they're paying for history. Every coin tells a story, and errors? They tell a story of mystery, human mistakes, and limited supply. Think about it. When a mistake happens at the US Mint, it's not supposed to leave the building. Yet, every now and then, one slips through the cracks. And when it does, it becomes a prize that collectors will pay almost any price to own. But here's the kicker. Many people have these rare nickels and don't even realize it. Right now, you could have one sitting in your house without knowing it's worth millions. So, what exactly makes the 1986 D Jefferson nickel so special? It's called a double die error, a mistake that happens when the coin is stamped twice, causing parts of the design to look doubled. If you see doubling on Jefferson's profile or the word Monticello, you might be holding a jackpot. And here's the urgent part. With more collectors entering the market every day, the value of these error coins is only going up. In fact, some experts believe we've barely scratched the surface of their true worth. So, if you're sitting on one of these nickels, the time to act is now. Waiting could mean leaving millions of dollars on the table. And who wants to make that mistake? Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I know if my nickel is the real deal? Great question. First, grab a magnifying glass and examine the details closely. Look for that doubling effect on the inscriptions and Jefferson's face. And if you're unsure, don't worry, professional coin appraisers can verify its authenticity for you. And trust me, it's worth it. Because if you find the right error, your life could change overnight. But there's one more twist to this story, and it's something most people overlook. Not all 1986 D nickels with errors are created equal. The condition of your coin matters a lot. The most valuable ones are in pristine, uncirculated condition. If you've got one that's been sitting untouched, you might be holding the holy grail of nickels. And get this. Even if your nickel isn't perfect, it could still fetch thousands of dollars. That's right, even worn or circulated versions of this coin hold incredible value. So, it's always worth checking. Now, imagine this for a moment. What would you do if you suddenly had an extra $1 million in your bank account? Pay off debts. Buy your dream home. Take that luxury vacation you've always wanted. It's not just a fantasy. For someone out there, this nickel is going to be their golden ticket. And before you rush off to check your coin jar, there's one last thing you need to know. This rare nickel is just the beginning. There are other coins hiding in plain sight that could be worth just as much, or even more. So, if you're serious about turning pocket change into life-changing wealth, you need to stay informed. Because the next $1 million discovery, it could be sitting right in your hand, just waiting to be found. 1987 D Mint Mark Jefferson nickel could be hiding in your pocket, and it's worth up to $3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single coin, the kind you probably overlook every day, could be your golden ticket to unimaginable wealth. But before you rush to check your loose change, there's something you need to know, and missing it could cost you millions. Here's the truth. Most people ignore their nickels, tossing them aside without a second thought. But hidden among these ordinary coins are a few extraordinary treasures. The 1987 D Mint Mark Jefferson nickel is one of those treasures. And if you're lucky enough to find one with a specific error or rare feature, you could be sitting on a life-changing fortune. So, what exactly makes this coin so valuable, and how can you tell if you have the $1 million jackpot? Let's dive into the fascinating story behind the 1987 D Jefferson nickel. In 1987, millions of these nickels were minted at the Denver Mint. But as with any large-scale production, mistakes happen. And when it comes to coin collecting, mistakes are worth serious money. We're talking about rare minting errors, things like double dies, misstrikes, and off-center prints. These errors can transform an everyday nickel into a prized collector's item worth a fortune. One of the most sought-after errors in the 1987 D Jefferson nickel is the elusive double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a slightly doubled image. Collectors go wild for these mistakes because they're rare, visually striking, and incredibly valuable. Imagine spotting one of these in your collection. It's like winning the coin lottery. But don't start celebrating just yet. Finding these errors takes a keen eye and a bit of know-how. Now, you might be wondering, how do you identify a valuable 1987 D nickel? First, examine the coin under good lighting. Look closely at Thomas Jefferson's portrait, especially around his eye and the lettering. If you notice a shadow-like doubling effect, you might have a double die obverse. Another key feature to watch for is the mint mark itself. A misplaced or oddly shaped D can signal a rare error. And here's a pro tip: using a magnifying glass can reveal details invisible to the naked eye. Of course, not every 1987 D nickel is a jackpot. But when you do find a rare one, the rewards can be staggering. In fact, collectors have paid up to $3 million for an exceptional error coin. And even if your nickel isn't worth millions, rare varieties can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Just imagine what you could do with that kind of money: pay off debt, buy a dream home, or even retire early. All from a humble nickel. But here's the catch. Time is not on your side. The market for rare coins is constantly shifting. As more collectors hunt for these hidden gems, the supply dwindles and values skyrocket. If you wait too long, you could miss out on your chance to cash in. So, while others overlook their spare change, you have the opportunity to strike gold. And the best part? These valuable coins could be hiding right under your nose. Think about it. When was the last time you really inspected your nickels? What if you've been unknowingly carrying a fortune in your pocket all this time? It's a thought that should make you rush to your coin jar immediately. Because while everyone else is letting fortunes slip through their fingers, you have the power to change your financial future with something as simple as a nickel. So, don't wait. Start checking your 1987 D Jefferson nickels today. Who knows? Your next nickel could be the one that turns your dreams into reality. And if you want to learn more about other rare coins that could be worth millions, be sure to stick around, because the next big discovery might be closer than you think.